Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm here once again with Kevin.
Hello everyone.
And you know what we're going to do? We're going to answer some questions that you have submitted at my website, erinpavlina.com. Let's go.
Very good. First question is from Cynthia, who wants to know, how are you absolutely sure that dead people can see us?
That's a great question. The reason that I am sure dead people can see us is because if I'm doing a reading as a medium and I connect with somebody from the other side and they tell me what you have been doing, they must see, know, or sense it in order to be able to convey it to me. Otherwise, how would I know it? So I don't know it. I'm not reading you telepathically. I'm getting it from your spirit guides or your deceased loved ones.
How do you sense that they can see us? How does that work? I mean, in a non-three-dimensional world or whatever. Can you tell us anything about that?
Yes. The other way that I know they can see us is because I can see them seeing us. So if I'm in my room at night sometimes and I open my eyes and I see a deceased person standing at the end of their bed, hey, they acknowledge me. They can see me. I think I wrote a blog article about that. It was called The Overseer. And there was just this entity at the end of my bed and he was looking at me like he was judging me, like he was checking me out. And I don't think he realized I could see him back. He was surprised. So I can see them, they can see me, we connect, they can see you.
Okay. It occurs to me that somebody asking this question might be worried about people watching them do things or seeing them in particular situations. What do you think of that?
Yes. It is true that your deceased loved ones, your guides, celestial energies, everybody on the other side can see what you're doing at any and all times if they choose to. So I would say that for the most part, they either aren't looking or they don't care. It's not super important to them what you're doing in the privacy of your bedroom. So definitely don't worry about it. A lot of people are worried about it and they become very shy about activities they may be engaging in. But I mean, do you stop on the side of the road to see two ants or two animals connecting, or do you just keep driving?
So yes, your grandmother can see you having sex, but she doesn't care.
It would be worse if she gave you pointers.
That would be guidance, though.
It would be, maybe.
All right. Well, Philip would like to know if a shadow entity can read your mind or if it has to hear you verbally to know what you're saying or thinking.
So first, a shadow entity is, I don't know that I would use the term shadow entity, but I would use the word entity. So there are some entities who have a very high vibration and are very highly conscious who are capable of reading your mind, but most of them cannot. So you don't have to worry too much about that. And even if they can read your mind, they're still going to do whatever it is they want to do. What you're thinking about isn't going to necessarily affect how they behave and how they act. But if you do end up with a situation or a problem like that, you may need to seek some help if you're being terrorized by an entity or something like that.
And if you put a label to what Philip is calling a shadow entity, would you call that a low vibrational entity or what?
Okay, yeah, low vibration entity will be the kind of entity that wants to mess with you, steal your energy, and do not nice things to you. A high vibration entity is going to be a lot nicer to you, but in terms of levels of consciousness, there's going to be highly conscious beings and low conscious beings who don't.
Okay. Oh, we got a kitty here. We got a kitty situation.
This is Runty. Runty is not a shadow entity.
Okay, now in our kitty-free environment, our next question comes from Jenny, who would like to know if the deceased are willing to reveal or would be willing to reveal a secret they carried in life. And as an example, she says, say a deceased woman had a secret baby and never spoke about it while alive. Is that something she'd willingly speak about after death?
Some will and some won't. From what I can tell in the readings that I've done, some people are very eager to explain to their families things that maybe were secret during life, and they want to unburden themselves of that secret, especially if it affects a lot of people. But at the same time, there will be beings, deceased relatives, who will not share that information, because if they didn't share it in their lives, there was a reason, and they may not want to alter a person's course or trajectory by suddenly revealing that information from the other side. I also think there are some limits as to what the beings on the other side can tell us or are allowed to tell us, and that might be, depending on the information, that might be one of those things.
Interesting. So I'm not sure if this is where Jenny was going, but it made me wonder if there's something that someone's very ashamed about in life, how much, if any, of that shame might carry over?
The shame will not carry over after you've had your life review, where you see everything that you did and how you affected everybody you interacted with. There's a lot of forgiveness, self-forgiveness, and everything just fades away, and you realize, well, I did the best I could with what I had at the time, and I have to live with what I've done. That's why I always tell people it's best to atone for things while you're still here. But even if you don't, it's totally fine. When you get to the other side, you will forgive yourself, and because you will have achieved understanding, and that is what's most important to your soul on the other side.
Powerful.
Yeah.
All right. Well, our last question for today is from Anna, who asks, why do some people die at a young age? Is it destined, or does it happen by coincidence, or just biology? Or does the soul choose to experience it and pick a body that will die at a young age, for example?
A lot of people are under the impression that our deaths are predestined. I don't believe any death is predestined at all. You do not come here knowing in advance how you're going to die. And one of the reasons for that is we have free will. So you're going to make decisions based on what you want to do every day. And some of those decisions are going to lead to accidents. And some of those accidents might lead to death. But it's not something that was preordained. I like to tell people, nobody's sitting up in the ether with a clipboard saying, make sure Greg gets in that car accident today. We'll see him in a couple hours. It's not happening. Nobody is plotting and planning your demise from the other side.
Could somebody be interested in experiencing a certain kind of death as part of their life, like perhaps going to war or dying to save someone else, or some experience like that?
I don't believe that you pre-decide what any of your actions are going to be, or even what the flavor of your life is going to be like, except to the extent that when you choose your parents, you might choose parents who you think are going to nurture you into or onto your life path intention. So you do come here with an intention. I like to say, you're going to an amusement park and there's a certain roller coaster you want to ride. Maybe you get here and you decide you want to ride the roller coaster, or you decide you don't. So there's not going to be a predestined action or outcome, but there might be some intentions that you want to experience that lead you into a path that is similar to kind of what you're talking about. But anything can alter your course, and you have to be ready for that.
All right. Well, that's all we've got for today. Thanks for watching once again.
Thank you, everybody. Please visit the website for articles and information and more videos.